In this video, I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to make this looped ribbon wreath. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all of our great tutorials. So for this style of wreath, what we need is one 14-inch wreath wire frame, 4 bolts of 10 yards of each ribbon. The important part really about the ribbon is that they're wired ribbons. We usually use the 2.5-inch or wider, but this time I thought this 1.5 inch was really cute, so we're gonna throw 1.5 inches in there. To get started, what you do is we're going to take all 4 ribbons and I kind of line them up together, and we're just going to, I'm gonna flip these over, wind them up like this so they're all together as in one ribbon. Now that we have them all wound together, what we're going to do is take this end and kind of group them together. And you're going to start on the second to the inner ring right there. We're going to take a zip tie, and I have about 30 zip ties on average is what it's going to use to go around this. And I'm going to take my zip tie around it. And zip tie it right to that second ring. Now you don't want your zip tie too tight. You want to be able to move these around so we can squish them together. Then what I'm going to do, I use about my hand height, whatever size, it doesn't matter, to measure my loops. And I'm going to make a loop, see, like that, about the height of my hand. And then I'm going to zip tie this one also to it. Go around and put the zip ties in the back so later they're hidden. And then I'm going to push it next to it. So we're going to continue doing these loops all the way around. About 5 loops per spacing. So it'll end up being about 30 loops. I take my next loop right next to it, measure my hand again. I squish it kind of together. Woo! My zip tie. Put it through. Push it next to each other. And when you use your hand, the reason you're measuring isn't necessarily that that's the right height, but that they're all uniform. You want them all to be about the same, so it's when we're all done, there's not one sticking out taller. So just continue doing that all the way around, about 5 groupings per space. Now we're getting down to the last couple of loops, keeping with your hand and your zip tie. There are a couple ways to end these wreaths. There's one where you can cut off the excess ribbon and use it to make a bow or do whatever. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to just leave like tails hanging down it. So once we do our last loop, you're going to zip tie it like the others. But now you're going to have all of your excess ribbon still attached. And there. And flip. Okay, so now every loop is done. Just leave your ribbons here hanging out the back. What we're going to do now is we're going to flip your wreath over, and you're going to go through and pull each zip tie nice and tight, pulling them up like that, and then you're going to just go ahead and clip off all of your excess zip ties. Okay, now what we're going to do is fluff all of our loops. And that's really easy. You're just going to pull each ribbon out so you can see it. Now this time I pulled my big star in and my little out. So you just want to do it in different orders so everything is blended really nicely together. Okay, so we've gone through, we fluffed everything. Make sure you can see every ribbon that's pretty. Now, depending on the size of your hand and how full you make them, we'll have different amounts of ribbon left over, but it's no big deal. Everything is a free-form creativity. So what I'm gonna do though, is I'm gonna kind of pick how long I want my tails. And I like them a little longer so I can crunch them. So I'm gonna find, this is what I want in my tail length. And I'm gonna take this and I'm going to bring this part up like that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a zip tie. I'm gonna find in between the loops and I'm going to zip tie it right over where the other one was. So trying to find your way without smashing your ribbons, but they're wired so we can always fix it. Flip it over. Pull them pretty nice and tight. And then, here we go like that. Now you can keep going however many tails you want, but I think I'm gonna keep it right there. I like that. So I'm gonna take my zip tie and cut it. Now, the ribbons that are looped together for the tail, I'm just gonna take my scissors and cut them right where they are, and then I'm going to take my extra ribbons and cut them about the same length. Now if you have some ribbons left over, which I have a little bit, I think taking it and making yourself a cute bow, and you could add it like right above the tails or over here. We have other videos that show you how to make the bows, but for this one I'm just going to put it aside and use it for later. Fluff it up where I kind of squished it. Now the ribbons that are backwards, see the ones that I looped? You just take them and kind of turn them by where you wired them so you can see the patterns. Now I like to take them and give them a little fold so they look like they're waving in the wind. If you want to do V cuts or angled cuts, you can definitely do that on your tails too. But wired ribbon is very nice. And we love to seal the edges of our ribbon. We have a product we sell called Fray Check, and it's like a really clear little sealant, and all you do is run it on your ribbons so they always look like they're a really nice, clean, fresh cut. And that way your wreath lasts a little longer. It doesn't get as old looking. All right, so look how cute that is. Easy, quick, and super cute. So you can leave your tails, or you can open up your Fray Check and you just gently rub it on the edge of each tail. So all of our supplies, again, what we used was 4 bolts of wired ribbon and a wreath frame. And all of those things can be found on our website at www.designerdiy.shop. You can do it for every holiday, you can do every day, a lot of good choices. Happy crafting!